Hello, welcome everyone. Welcome back for we are on episode 6, I believe, of Standing Stones, and I'm excited because we're getting the heck out of Dodge, and we're gonna play with magic. It's gonna be great, and nothing bad is gonna happen at all.
Thank
Um,
you!
hey, thanks, Pat. Thanks for that resubscription. Let me know who you'd like to give an advantage to. So yeah, before we dive into the game and everything, I'm going to mention sponsors and talk a little bit about that, and then let everybody introduce themselves, and then we'll get going. So first off, sponsors. Let me get those links into chat. Fundamental RPG, which is the game that this system runs on, it looks like this. You can pick up your own copy on Amazon if you want the physical book, or you can pick up a digital copy at coffee.com/raven/shop. Just like it says at the bottom of the screen there, just add /shop if you want to go directly to the store. Also at that same site, you can find Intrepid gear, which is adventuring gear for real life. It's apparel and drinkware and accessories and a whole bunch of other stuff with an adventure or tabletop theme to it. It's pretty cool stuff. You should check it out. And then finally, Die Hard Dice, which are just incredible dice. They sell polymer and metal dice sets on their website, as well as a lot of other accessories and dice adjacent things. They sent me this really awesome Spellbinder Fey Queen set. So there's a little bit of a glare because of the lights, but it's really pretty. It's my absolute favorite set of dice, which, considering the amount of dice that I've acquired over the years, is saying something. You can pick up your own set at dieharddice.com, and then if you use the code BlackFeatherJune, all one word, capital B, capital J, you can get 10% off your entire order. And then finally, if you want to catch up on this show or others on the channel, you can do so at the Fantasy Network at watch.thefantasy.network. And since it is random for Pat's advantage, I'm going to use that D6 I just showed you to find out who gets it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Jay, you get the advantage. So I will be adding that on. And then also thank you to Icy for another resub. And who would you like to give that advantage to?
Also random.
All right.
Can't play favorites. It's illegal.
There we go. All right, I'm gonna re-roll because it landed on Jay again. Spread it around a little bit. I see. It looks like you got it. Awesome. We'll grab that now. So with that out of the way, we'll start with introductions. Starting with the top left with Zan. Tell us a little bit about yourself and Finn.
Yeah, I'm Zan. I'm a professional GM and content creator for 5e World of Darkness, powered by the Apocalypse, and a whole bunch of other really great games out there. I'm doing some really cool stuff coming up, including some tables at the Onyx PathCon this weekend, and I believe we are in the death throes of a sign-up for a fantastic little game that is going to be over on a Tactics channel. You can find me over here, over with the Tactic, over on Polished Crypto channel, or on my own channel, Insanity TTRPG. And I'm going to be playing Finn, who is made mostly of water with a slight dash of anxiety. Like 98 too. Maybe like 99.37.7. An equation. Yeah, they are made entirely of water and, have a slightly difficult time relating to other folks. But it's been revealed that maybe they didn't know that they knew a lot more than everyone else, and it's kind of coming to light, and they might be an easy point to get out of the bubble. So we'll see how it goes.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Paladin, for that $10 donation. The caption saying, I can play favorites, though. It's for Hannah, also because she didn't have any dice yet. So, Hannah, you get a crit, which I will get added onto the overlay here in just a moment. Next, we've got Icy. Tell us a little bit about Veshna and yourself.
Alrighty, team. Hi, I'm Icy Historian. Icy Historian, all the places on the internet that I feel like being found. I am here melting in the northeastern chunk of the United States. It's a good time here. So I play Veshna Brevik, and Veshna is the sort of Harriet the Spy-esque character who has had a really, really hard interaction with her dad, and has decided that because, you know, she has all of the wit and wisdom of someone whose frontal lobe is essentially a deflated balloon, she has decided that the way to respond to that in a manner that will absolutely meet all of her needs is to run away to a place that literally she's never been to and has only ever heard of and looked at for about 9 minutes. So that's kind of where we're at. Typical sort of, you know, 14-year-old-esque thinking pattern that I'm sure will never have any consequences whatsoever.
What? Kids having consequences for their actions? I don't know what that's about. Next, Jay, tell us a little bit about Beckney and yourself.
Make sure I'm actually unmuted this time. Hello, everyone. I'm Jay, or Alien Jays. I'm a game dev and a role player. You can find me on itch.io or Twitter at AlienJays. Tonight I'm playing Beckney, who is the sibling to Pyron in the Page House. They are a goblin who was raised as not armadillo, every time, as a pangolin within that household, and they, for all intents and purposes, act like one, think like one, probably smell like one, and they're just kind of coming into their own of realizing that their magic has more to do with their missing arm from the elbow down than it does with kind of everyone else's magic is very inherent to them. Theirs is much more physical than kind of metaphysical or psychological. So they're coming to grips with that, and also with the fact that their brother seems to be in a bit of a quandary emotionally, so they're hoping to shore him up a bit.
Awesome. And there it goes. Thank you so much to the anonymous supporter on Coffee for donating $10 for a advantage for me and for Hannah. So this is a really good time for all these advantages, because I think we're going to be in a little bit of danger soon.
We're all gonna die. Danger, my dudes.
I'm in danger.
We're fine. It's fine. No one's gonna. It's fine.
It'll be fine. But looks like I'm next. I'm Raven. I'm the creative director for the Raven Evermore, which is my brand for all the various things that I do, most of which are tabletop related or tabletop adjacent, at least. My link tree is there in chat with all my various links to things. If you can't see this, if you're watching this on the Fantasy Network later and can't see chat, it's linktr.ee/theraven. Like it's spelled below my face here, which incidentally is also my Twitter. And then I play Cauliflower, or Callie, who's your standard shonen anime protagonist. She's not very bright, she likes to fight, and she has a heart of gold and really loves protecting her friends. And she means really well. She's a lot of fun to play, so I am... Oh, and she also has a tail. So there's that. Next, Pat, tell us a little bit about Pyron and yourself.
Yeah, hi, I'm Pat. I'm a Tactric on Twitter and Twitch. I also do TTRPG things here on my channel, kind of all over the place. Like Zan mentioned, we've got signups for a game that I think we're going to close out in the next 24 hours. They'll be going kind of the next few weeks. And then we'll be coming back this week with Urban Shadows, too, now that I am done traveling around like a fool, just delaying our game. But tonight, I'm playing Pyron. As has been mentioned, he's an anthropomorphic pangolin. He's kind of the theater nerd aspiring stage magician of the group, and he's so fine right now. You know, as I remember things, we left off just at the end of a totally normal dinner, and nobody tried to serenade their huge crush and got absolutely shut down and is having, you know, definitely didn't happen. I don't remember it.
Yeah, that doesn't sound familiar. All I remember was the incredible, like, ad-libbed singing. That is the only thing I remember. And then, like, Wisteria was there, I think, and then Sage called her a bitch, which was very much deserved, and it was a great night.
That's all I remember is Sage.
Yep. Speaking of, Hannah, tell us a little bit about Sage and yourself.
Hi everybody, I'm Hannah, or Whoa Hannah, anywhere you want to find me on the internet. And I play Sage. If perchance you see me doing weird jaw motions, I was at the dentist today. I'm having a time. But I'm playing Sage today, who, as mentioned earlier, kind of told off the town celebrity because she was mean to my friend. And how fucking dare you? But now let's go explore some magic, do some fun outside the border stuff. It's fine. We didn't need town anyway. I'm not terrified.
It'll be fine.
You're right. Delight. Delight was the word I was looking for. I was trying to find another rhyme.
I appreciate
yelling about chat. Don't mind me.
It's fine. And then next, Calliope, tell us about yourself and this wonderful world and story that you put together for us, and take it away.
Hello, I'm your keeper Calliope. I'm a middle school teacher, and approaching the last 2 weeks of school, which is very exciting. And this summer, I'm going to be doing a show with Zan and IC Historian called Gaming the Systems. We're going to try out 10 non-D20 based RPG systems in 10 weeks. It's going to be funny and fun and weird. It's going to help me get my PhD, and it's going to be on Zan's channel on Monday night, starting, I think, the 21st, right? So it's coming up. Very exciting. But today, we are going forward a little bit in time from the last time we were together, and it is just about dawn. And the gang is all holed up in Fenn's bedroom, which has many pools of fish in it, but also does have some spaces for terrestrial beings as well. When you all got there, I think you're starting to realize there is a certain, ennui, malaise that comes over you as you sort of gather your magic together again. You feel kind of weird, but you've been there on the other side of the null field long enough that you've acclimated back to being on this side, and you've spent the whole night making plans and hanging out. So we're gonna have a quick montage of a moment of that from each person and what they were doing. So Ben, you're the host. Tell us, the host with the most. So tell us what you did to prepare the room and sort of be the host.
But yeah, so I didn't have a whole lot of time to prepare for everybody when they were coming over, because some of them just kind of followed me. I think maybe everyone just followed me. So it's kind of thrown together. After the last time, I realized I needed some more seating arrangements. So I in the past, I'd kind of like fixed up everything, and I had kind of arranged some smaller pools, like not all of them, but like 2 or 3 smaller ones that had seating areas near them. Because I heard an out-of-towner like coming in and saying they really liked like the little bitty fishes nibbling at their feet while they like soaked them and stuff. I mean, they need to eat anyway, so I made a few of those pools, but I don't know if anybody's going to use them because they are pretty hungry right now. Yeah, I think there's that, and I think once everybody's there, it's just kind of, they kind of spend their time, but mostly like on the edge and stuff, like occasionally shifting their perspective to look from to become more aware of the opening in top. Checking on the fish, making sure that they're all comfortable with everybody around.
Have you opened your scroll yet? Because you hadn't opened it yet, right?
Oh shit!
Okay, so let's have a quick montage moment of the opening of the scroll. Veshna, what are you doing when Fenn opens the scroll? Are you watching? Are you watching from the side? How does this work?
So I think Veshna drawing on her extensive paying attention in ancient mythology and lore class, after the whole like, do you like Fen situation and like the awkwardness of watching Pyron, hearing Pyron strike out, I think that Veshna has prayed to every ancient deity that she remembers in alphabetical order in her head, that Fen would forget the scroll, that the scroll would burst into flame, that it would be stolen by wolves, that the earth would open up and swallow all animals into oblivion, that maybe the big crunch would be a thing. I mean, there's a lot, like I think in her mind she like unknowingly invented the steam engine just so that she could be hit by a train. So I think as Fen, like she sees Fen go to open it, and you see her become incredibly engrossed in a book that she holds real close to her face, and she sort of sits like you know, if you have like the awkward kid, like you have like all the kids in the class over, and then there's that one kid that like it might just be too much for them, so they like find the cat or like whatever. Very much is like, I'm just gonna read this book that is so very good. Look at my book. And so I think like literally the book is like a centimeter from her nose, so she can't see his face or their face, and no one can see her face. I think that that's kind of what she does as Fen goes to the picture.
Wow, it's nice. This is really great. Where do it should go up somewhere, not wet. Okay. Not wet. And I think Fen will just like try to never decorated their room with art before, with like manufactured art, so just trying to find a place. And okay, that looks nice. Okay, I've decorated our room. Great.
I think Veshna's gotten to L now in her head, and I think if you got real close to her, like she's like trying, you can see her be like, and praise Lothara, we are with thee in our time and in our spirit. Like, just now she's thinking maybe there's like an under river volcano system that she could get drawn into. There's like a lot happening.
Excellent. While this is happening, Sage, what are you doing?
I like to imagine that Sage has found the plant that they grew that Fen then put in a fish pond and is just like slowly growing that into like an aesthetic kind of thing. Like, oh hey, look, let's practice some cool stuff.
Awesome. What would Sage think was aesthetic?
Kind of like lots of nice curls and vines and maybe like occasional flowers. My
Awesome.
brain is like,
No, love that. And what about Callie? What is Callie doing?
Callie's practicing flying a bit, mostly just sort of hovering and like doing slow flips in midair, like you see on some like sci-fi stuff when somebody gets out into space for the first time and they're just like, I can do flips, kind of like that. And then is just doing this over near where Sage is, and is going on and on about how awesome it was that Sage told Wisteria off, and how cool that was and stuff.
And what about Beckney and Pyron?
I think what is Byron's disposition at present?
Not great.
Okay.
Oh,
I think
very
Beckney
don't
is-
perceive me right now.
Yeah, I think Beckney is trying their best to just kind of be near Pyron as much as he wants them to be, and is just, you know when like your sibling, like your older sibling, is upset about something and they won't talk about it, so you're just kind of there near them doing your own thing. I think they're just kind of like playing around with their rock ability to just make little structures. Maybe they're trying to make something to cheer Pyron up.
I think one thing Pyron has been doing is trying to figure out if any of the fish in these ponds like eating paper, and like tearing out some of his some of the stuff from his notebook, like some of the songs he's written, some of his lyrics, and just feeding it to some fish.
This is kind of a
Sorry for bringing down that vibe.
No, I love it. No, this is kind of an angst-filled crew. This is very middle school. So the night passes, and you're doing these things. People hopefully have slept a little bit, and it is dawn. And you see that you can hear that it's dawn because you can hear that there are birds chirping outside. And I don't know, like crows cawing or whatever. And there is both sort of the approaching sun, like the rays of the sun, but there's also like another light out there. What do you guys want to do? It's morning.
I'm hungry.
Oh, is there anywhere I can cook in here, Fen?
Yeah. I mean, anywhere you could build a fire.
Someone help me build a fire. And like Sage like starts scrambling up to find a drier area.
Oh goodness, this is not gonna go well. Callie's gonna be like, oh, I think I can do that. And it's gonna try to like use her magic blast thing to start a fire.
I'm so ready.
Okay.
If there's any kind of
Yeah, I'll like
wood
pull together like
available in
some
here.
like whatever kinds of woods I can pull together.
Yeah, I feel like it's pretty damp in here.
Yeah.
Right? Like overall, I think it's kind of humid. It's like trying to start a campfire after it rains. So, yeah, I mean, Callie, go ahead and give us a starting fire roll.
I apologize in advance.
You know that goes.
Would you like an attack roll or engineering magic roll?
Let's be real. Callie's attacking the wood.
Yeah, that's fair. Hey, that's actually not bad. A 19.
Ooh.
Okay, so you are like setting things on fire in Fen's bedroom. Oh, there's really just one thing though that's really dry and super flammable.
No!
Oh no!
This is why I scrambled up the wall! Away from the people!
It's the picture that Veshna
Like-
made.
I'm not gonna aim for the picture.
But there's no, you're sort of like, I mean, how, the 19 is you were successful in starting a fire.
We had like a little, I would have put together some moss and stuff.
Yeah, like
Right.
Callie's not gonna
how-
intentionally set the picture on fire. She'll like fly
Oh,
through
no,
the
not
hole
at
first.
all. I don't think that would be an intentional thing that she would do. But I guess, okay, so help me understand then how wide this bolt is.
Oh, it's like the size of a cantaloupe.
Okay.
Like that's the width of the beam.
Great. So, in my mind, what happens is you shoot it and it like lands, but it doesn't just like disappear. It like sort of ricochets a little bit off. You know, like for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction, right? This is science. And so it ricochets off, and many things start smoldering. And one of the things that starts
the
to be on
things in the
fire
picture?
is the picture from Veshna. How does Veshna feel about that?
Veshna's muted. Veshna, like, looks like she just sort of is doing that thing where she's trying to keep her face really neutral. But
Well, Veshna, I feel like also maybe you had finally gotten through to V, to Vulcan, the fire god.
well,
do you
yeah.
bring this upon yourself?
Well, I feel like at some point, like maybe Veshna's first reaction is gonna kind of duck out around and like look up, like. But then I think that like it's that like kind of heartbreak of when like the really like brash brazen girl gets turned down at the school dance. It's like, you know what I mean? Like all of that bravado is like covering a literal marshmallow of a center. And I think she doesn't say anything, she just goes back to her book and like does not say a word.
Callie's just standing there doing the like both index fingers, like the tips pointing. Yeah. I don't know how to describe this other than to just show you. Is doing that and looking down and just like, sorry, Veshna.
Ben, what do? Do you try to save it? Do you notice?
No, yeah, I noticed, this is my room, and it seems like every time people are in here, bad things happen, so I'm kind of on edge already.
You told
be
me
fair-
anywhere.
To be fair to the rest of the party, like, it's mostly just Callie. Whenever Callie's in your room, bad things happen.
No, Finn will go, oh no, and, like, try to just, like, dip their arm into whatever pool is nearby, and when they, like, fling it up, try to fling just, like, a quick stream of water from the pool.
Veshna, what's the picture made out of? Is it like a pencil drawing or is it ink?
So it was I think it's like a combination because I feel like she went back to it like 3 or 4 different times, and I have it if we need a refresher.
Yes.
Yes, please.
And it's like all of the little people, and the fact that like I realized partway through, Veshna realized partway through that she doesn't know how to draw pangolins, and so we were kind of on a fool's errand. But it's Fen with bubbles and anxiety things and like various water creatures of river and not river origin. And I think so what Veshna did is it's on like kind of a thicker paper because I think it's the paper that like her dad uses to post the specials. So it's like a thicker kind of like cardboard-esque type, and she actually like she did it and then she kind of coated it in like a waxy substance so that it didn't get ruined by water.
Awesome.
So
Almost
yeah.
smashing, is it like butcher paper?
It's kind of like, you know that stuff that they put down when you're getting new floors?
Yeah, okay.
Like it's like that. Like it's like not quite corrugated cardboard, but it's like more than cardstock, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I got you now.
I think we call that railroad board.
Yeah.
Cool.
I think I actually have some of that in a bin outside.
Great.
What
So,
don't you have at a
thank
bin
you
outside?
For coming to Standing Stones, where you get to hear such epic tales as us describing various weights of paper.
It's somebody's thing.
Tonight's show is sponsored by the Paper Company. All right.
It's an episode of
Ben,
The Office now.
give us a roll. Let's see how you do at saving this.
But what if I didn't just bomb? Okay, so that's gonna be. Is that nimbleness or?
Sure.
Cool. So nimbleness with the +2 for water stuff. Did I hit the right button?
Yeah.
Cool. That is a 15 or a 17 total.
All right. So, describe how you save most of this.
So Finn's like kind of thing is they're gonna like drop the humanoid shape for like just a moment and kind of slide into whatever pool is closest, and then just kind of form like an arch in the water, and then half of the arch will break and it'll whip out towards the thing that's on fire. And might hit with a little bit of impact, just because like, ah shit, fire in my house. But definitely not intentional.
Yeah, and I think with a 17, I think you are able to mostly save it. You know, it's a little smoldery around the edges, but I think mostly, most of it gets saved. So good job. It looks like you're rolling better already, Fen. Perhaps this will be a better show for you, my dear. All right, so it is done. Things are on fire.
Most
Now
importantly,
what?
do I have a cooking fire?
I don't. I think you have some really smoldering moss. Everything's a little too wet here to be really useful for fire.
Real quick, thank you, Meeble, for redeeming 10,000 guild coins for an advantage for our GM.
Oh, Meeple.
Upon seeing this, Sage may be like, okay, I need to get somewhere that's not so wet if we want to have cooked food this morning.
I'm sorry. That was an oversight.
Okay, you're literally water.
Can I like touch it and dry it out?
Ooh,
Huh.
that's an interesting thought.
I don't know. I mean, I guess so. Sure. I mean, I think you're in a cave, like a
Mhm.
cavern that has the bottom of it is water. So I think you
Yeah.
absolutely could, but I don't think it'll stay dry for very long, only just because the relative humidity is probably
Mhm.
really high.
They're just gonna like peek at the hole in the roof, be like, maybe out there.
Yeah. So we're gonna go then, huh?
I
We should probably go soon, right? Because it's your parents and your sibling can get in here, right?
Yeah, they can. Well,
I mean,
yeah.
they'll probably be looking for me. I imagine the town's gonna come looking for me after I guess I attacked Wisteria with my voice.
We're gonna put a bookmark in that, and we're gonna come back to it in a little bit. But okay.
I guess. How do we get out of there? Here? Callie?
Let's say, is the hole still in the roof? I can't remember if we closed that up the last
I
time.
don't think we
think
closed
we-
it.
No, I don't think we
yeah.
closed it.
We did close it. I don't think it's necessarily like super solidly closed.
What did we
I
close
did.
it with?
I thought somebody tried to close it, and instead the
Right.
Lucrocata fell in.
Bethany
I
tried to
did
close it, I believe.
And I did say you could tell it was dawn. So I mean, there must
Yeah,
be some
okay.
hole up there.
Because when I demolished the staircase, I don't think I made a roof to
No,
it.
I think you're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Then yeah, Callie will just look to Sage and be like, do you want me to help you get up there?
Okay. Sure.
Callie's just gonna fly over and scoop up Sage and fly up the hole.
And Sage does a little like up, and like grabs around Callie's neck, like, oh god, what? Why? I'm not supposed to be off the ground.
Awesome. So I think from the top side we see, Callie kind of like shoot out of this hole with Sage in her arms. Give me a roll for the landing. You haven't had a lot of landing practice yet.
I have not.
Ooh.
I
I like to imagine that like Callie just stayed in the air like the whole time.
Right, like just doing like flips and talking about how awesome it is.
Can I argue to add my martial arts training to this to stick the landing?
That sounds
All right.
reasonable.
All right, engineering magic +2, so a
Awesome.
23.
Ooh.
Awesome. You totally nail it. And you put Sage down gently. And I think what you notice, Sage, is like the color here is like riotous. It's like when people overexpose isn't the right word, but like hyperexpose a picture. And so the colors are oversaturated. It's a little bit oversaturated here. Like everything, it's not like entirely Alice in Wonderland, but there's definitely like things are a different, little bit of a different shape. The plants are not quite the same, but similar, and it's very bright, and it's very early in the morning. So it is still sort of first light here, but you can see some differences just from being a couple feet away from the hole.
Sage is probably a little bit like gobsmacked, just like in awe, like, wow, it is so bright and beautiful out here.
It is mostly wooded.
Yes.
You know, where you're on top of the mesa, and I think there are, you know, some trees here. It's not like thick forest. I don't think necessarily the soil supports super thick forest, but what the trees that are there are old. And I think one of the sides of the hole is maybe in the roots of a tree. Like one, you know, and then there's some space of a clearing, and then to the east you can see like a weird light, and to the sort of northwest you can hear some birds making a fuss.
Callie's definitely doing the like the anime motion of, you know, two fists rubbing the eyes. Like, wow, it's so colorful.
Yeah,
Like,
this is
why don't we have
amazing.
colors like this back in town?
Because they're boring in town.
Boring. They're so boring.
Sage's just gonna like lean their head back into the cave and be like, I'm gonna do some cooking, but like I wanted to check with everyone that was okay first, because I have no idea what's out here in the forest, so cooking fire could attract something. Just a heads up. Do we want cooking or not with that knowledge?
Callie kind of suddenly remembers, like, oh yeah, there's other people, and
Aww.
looks down the hole. It's like, does anybody else need a ride?
It's pretty amazing up here.
Veshna like jumps up and is like, I'll go up, I'll help you, Sage. I am a good cook a lot.
You are a good cook.
Love to cook. And she's just like shoving her book into her bag, and I feel like she shoves her book into her bag 6 times before realizing she hasn't opened her bag. And she's just like aggressive folding of her bedroll until the point where it would like fit in a sandwich bag. I mean, it's like a lot of like, there's clearly a lot of pent up energy that we're working out here. And she just big smile and sort of stands and like kind of closes her eyes and waits for Callie to get her.
Tyron, you might want to check this out too, because there's some amazing color up here.
Yep. Byron was like raising his hand and moving closer to the hole.
Aggressive folding is like one of the best things I've heard all day.
Mm-hmm. That's an early contender for a raid cry.
Yeah.
So, Callie, why don't you go ahead and give me a couple rolls to see how you land with Veshna and Byron, respectively.
I was gonna say, she's gonna try to take both of them at the same time this time.
Okay. Okay. So,
I'm gonna move away from the entrance.
That's a good idea.
I'm worried about everyone fitting through. So I think you're gonna need to roll a nimbleness roll first to make sure that you don't just hit people's heads into the ceiling.
26.
Okay. Yeah, you
Nice.
totally, all that practicing is paying off, and you get right through with the one on each arm, and let's see you stick the landing.
All right. Not bad. 24.
It's like you've been doing this your whole life. You drop them off. It's fabulous. Everything's wonderful. People are impressed.
Sage
It's
does
the
a little
tail.
clap.
It
Right,
helps with
the
the aerodynamics.
Wait, they would be clapping.
Sage is clapping.
Yeah, there's a quick pause, like an expectant pause, like in the bird song, and then it keeps going. Like they've never seen anything like that before.
Oh,
Oh, Callie's just like doing the rubbing the back of her head with the big grin at Sage
Oh.
thing for the clapping.
I was just so much anime in my head.
She's such an anime character.
I love her.
So, Pyron and Veshna, what do you think when you get up there?
Ta-da!
I think Veshna is like forgets to be in her feelings. Right? I think she sort of like looks around and is like super excited. And then I think maybe hears like Fen splash a little bit or something, and then sort of like goes over to Sage and begins very like with a lot of the same energy as Folding, like figuring out the cooking situation.
I think Pyron, like, besides just being blinded by all of these new colors, I think when the birds start going again and it's these songs that we don't hear in the village, I think he's just staring up listening to that.
Yeah, and I think they're not entirely different, but they're different enough, right? That they're noteworthy, and maybe even more noteworthy because there's something familiar about them, but something off. You know, they're in a minor, or there's an additional part to it, or they're in a major, or like, you know, they're more beautiful. There's everything's just a little more here.
Mhm.
It feels like.
If Veshna's really into the cooking, Sage will, with a little smile on their face, produce the eggs from their bag and be like, eh?
I feel like there's like the anime like montage of like we have to do a thing. So it's like the cloud of like dust and like random hands, and then like the like perfect like Irish breakfast like laid out. We don't know where it came from, but like you see like the plus, like it's like the video game, right? Like the plus friendship, like +3, +3, +3, like
Yeah, and everything goes in a bowl and it goes.
yep.
Right. And you make some sort of amazing meal. But before you eat it, you have to get Fen and Beckney up here with you, I would imagine. Unless you
Yes.
could just let them.
So
Right.
while that's going on, Beckney is actually approaching Fen. Because obviously, you know, they've heard everyone go up the hole, so they're kind of like, they're reaching out like, Fen, are you still down here?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I have an idea.
Okay. What's
Well, Duncan used to tell us about geysers. And I think I might be able to make one.
okay.
If you want to be part of it.
What do you mean?
To get up through the hole.
Yeah, but what geyser?
Oh, it's like when water gets really, really, really hot under the surface,
I don't like
and
that
then
part.
it well, it doesn't have to. We won't make it hot, but and then it comes out of the. It's like a big. I assume it's tall.
Okay. Sure. Give me just a moment.
Mhm.
I'll be good. And Finn's gonna walk over to Bubbles and you know, kind of pick him up and kind of like lose a little bit of the humanoid essence for a second, and like glow a little bit, and you might hear like some really like low resonant humming, but like, you know, not really talking, and like a good chunk of Finn will be around Bubbles as they go into the pool, And as Finn like pulls himself back into a humanoid shape, I don't know if Beckney would notice or not, given Beckney's eyesight, but Finn is like a good 20% smaller
I was wondering,
than
yeah.
Finn was, and like walks back over to the river and like dips in before coming back up, like the appropriate Finn size. But there's a weird there's a few parts where it looks like the water hasn't quite mingled fully together yet.
Like a little like oil and water on it almost.
A little bit, yeah, like a little bit of that, like, you know, the real deep sea water where there's like super saline saturated, like way at the bottom. So it's kind of like that, and you know, it'll just take it a second to kind of reacclimate and get stuff going. Okay, well.
And I think the other thing that you, Beckney, would be really poised to notice is about the resonant humming, and because Beckney is really sensitive to noise, I think that Beckney would appreciate the amount of like love that's in that humming. If that makes sense. Like other people might understand that as just being sort of like noise, but you get sort of the subtlety of it a little bit better.
Yeah. It's like a familiarity with like machine noises, like knowing like, oh no, that's a really good noise.
Yeah, exactly right. Like when you're sewing on a sewing machine and you're like, the sewing machine's happy.
Yeah, exactly.
It's no longer happy. Right.
Yeah. I think they've definitely got like a little smile on their face, but they don't
Yeah.
mention it.
Okay.
Okay. So Beckney's going to get down on all fours, and they're going to stretch their arm out into the water, which was rocks before. I know kind of as they're doing it, the rocks start falling away and the water starts kind of trickling up in the shape of an arm. And they're basically going to create like a little tide pool that they're in, and they're slowly going to keep drawing a little bit more water. And as they're doing that, they're creating this kind of like upward little like lilt to it. I'm trying to think how to describe it. It's like a wave pool almost is what I'm picturing. And they're just trying to get enough momentum that eventually it'll just kind of do itself enough that they can just rocket up through the hole.
I mean, I can try to help with that, you know.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's see a couple of rolls. Let's see how this geyser's going.
Cool.
Beckney, let's do a magic roll. Let's see
Okay.
how this is going.
26.
Okay. So maybe Die Hard Dice, this month's sponsor, is sponsoring all of the rolls of the people on this channel.
Listen, we've had terrible rolls for 5 sessions.
So bad. I know. I'm used to it.
We finally decided to do something for us, and we succeed wonderfully.
I know, it's great. Okay, so Becky, this is totally happening.
Okay. And I think
This is totally happening just as you've described. It takes a while, but it's working.
I think as they're getting it to work, they realize they could make it go a bit faster if they start like whirlpooling it
Right.
and just create kind of a cyclone of water going up.
See, I'm with you on that. I'm thinking what Finn's gonna try to do is when we like reach a zenith, Finn's gonna try to press the water into a point so that there's all the pressure there.
Yep.
And then as it flows back down, it gets the two angles at the same time.
Yep.
Try to build up the cross current.
I'm with you.
Okay,
Yeah, so
Finn,
I think they're kind of like discussing this as they're doing it.
All right. Is this gonna be magic engineering as well?
probably, right?
Okay, yeah.
And you do have. So that wasn't great.
That wasn't great. That was a 12.
That was a 12.
12.
I'm not sure it's helping. I think it might be just muddying the waters, so to speak. Becky, you could tell them to stop.
No, I
Too
think
much helping.
I think they're actually okay with it because they like this is the first chance they actually got to interact with Finn in a meaningful way. Even like since they've been friends, they've not really had much going on. So they're actually more encouraging Finn to keep trying than they are to start. They're like, I'll take on the extra work. I don't care. Like this is
I love
it's nice
that.
to yeah.
Yeah, I love that. Finn, do you notice this?
I 100% notice that I am holding that I am holding Beckney back. Of course, I notice that I am holding Beckney back. So like, okay, are you sure? Like this really this is working?
No, it's great. No, it's okay. This is really helping. It's helping me focus.
I'm gonna try from the other side though, okay? Because I feel like this maybe I'm more right sided than left side. I'm gonna try. From
That's a good point.
way.
I sometimes I forget too.
Beckney forgets what arm they have.
Sometimes you wake up and you forget which one's real. You know, it happens.
All right, give it another go then, Finn.
Oh my goodness.
All right, so what if instead of doing that, Finn goes up the water and like pulls from the top?
Sure.
Right? We had to do something different.
Yep,
That's not working.
No, not at all.
I mean,
George of the
Callie
Jungle, thanks
does.
for that follow.
Callie does still have the power of flight. I think she forgot about you because there's breakfast, but there's that too.
I mean, yeah, food has started to cook, so Callie's very distracted. But you could definitely be like, Callie, little help, and she'd come help you immediately.
What would be like? Could Callie carry Finn?
I was just trying to figure that out too. Depends on how much surface tension Finn can create on their body.
The problem is Finn is real heavy.
Right.
Finn is dense.
I could make a might roll.
That's why.
Callie's really strong.
Well, that's why I'm imagining if Finn actually like traveled up the water, there might be a better way, like to get themselves up. That might be a more effective way. I don't know. What do you guys want to try?
I think maybe Finn. Okay. Here, let's try this instead. Do you have like a something waterproof or something we can? Wait, I've got a thing, and just like a waterproof like a wine skin or something that would be in Finn's room for no particular reason, like maybe holding some kind of food at some point. And he'll go blow into this. I think I might have an idea. Just full of air. I've got an idea.
And sorry, who are you saying this to? Just unclear.
To you, Beck.
Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah, I think Beckney like pauses, keeps the water as it is, and starts kind of blowing into the thing and trying to maintain the water going around.
I think instead of like actively doing the two motion thing, Finn is just going to try to become a breaking wave on the wall and just let the buoyancy of that little sack kind of drag Beckney up.
Okay. Oh, almost like a little like
yeah, like a little buoy.
Oh, what do you call those? So I'm not thinking buoy. I'm thinking there's like a word for emergency flotation devices. The things you can like rip cord open. I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah, that. 100% that. Let's see how this goes this time. Hey, that's really great. That's a 28.
Okay, good. So describe how this goes.
Just kind of from the wave motion, just hits the wall, and instead of like hitting and splashing back, it hits and then starts folding and rolling up the wall. Probably pretty loud. I would imagine that there's a lot of noise associated with this, and just kind of with Beckney floating behind, hanging from the strap on the flotation device.
Awesome.
Until it just kind of breaks into the hole.
Right, and so you just sort of break over the hole. How far away did you set up the cooking fire?
You said that the hole was kind of in the root, so it would have been a little bit away because I don't want to set any trees on fire.
No, that's good. So, Ben, why don't you go ahead and roll us a nimbleness and see if you're able to avoid the cooking fire and the gang.
That's a crit fail.
I love it! Then, with all the power of the mighty river behind them, shoots out with Beckney riding the wave.
Two
directly
advantages.
Over the cooking fire,
It's too good.
smothering it, and making breakfast a little wet, but still edible. You don't have to worry about putting out that fire anymore, Sage, or attracting anyone because it is out.
Like, to imagine that, like, there's probably water that got into Sage's hair and it's kind of just like floats down over their eyes.
I think you see Veshna staring at the breakfast that she worked really hard on when she was already feeling emotionally like vulnerable, and she's just sort of like staring as like the like little tendrils of smoke rise up out of the fire, and she's just like this still has not said anything, but it's just sort of like breathing like really intently.
Well, I also sort of like the idea that maybe you're holding a cup and Ben's little face comes out of it. It's like, sorry. Like, right? Like some collection of part of Fed is now in this cup. Like, what part of this is Fed and what part of this is the other water? And how do you collect yourself, Ben? There's so many questions I have about your anatomy.
100% whenever this kind of thing happens, Finn does just have to, like, for lack of a better term, like, Katamari Damacy himself. They just kind of have to go around and pick up the collections of water that they've lost to put themselves back together. You know, dries everything out really easy, but it does have to touch everything that's wet.
I think Veshna sees the sort of Secret World of Alex Mack-esque GC 161 Odo from DS9 Fen Blob kind of like making way, and she, without like wordlessly, just sort of pours the cup onto the rest of it and then sets the cup down and takes her book, which is now soaked and ruined, out of her bag and goes back to reading.
Sage will attempt to start divvying up breakfast, as wet as it is.
I think Beckney is just lying on their back, like up, arms splayed wide, and they're just kind of giggling to themselves. Like they're soaked and they had the best time.
They, yeah, and there's so much like bird noise, and the grass, is awesome. Like there's a lot going on for Beckney. Hiram, were you trying to say something?
Yeah, about that bird noise. While this was all happening and I was not helping with breakfast, what I did was I sat underneath one of the trees and I was trying to, with my instrument, see if I could mimic the bird, like the tones, and see if I couldn't performance magic them down to us to keep us company for breakfast.
Awesome.
Very Disney princess, this breakfast stuff.
Yeah, all right, give it a go. Use some of your performance magic and get some beautiful bird friends, perhaps.
Also, real quick thank you to Michael for the $8 donation for a disadvantage, which the GM gets to pick who it goes to. Or I can roll for you if you'd prefer.
Yeah, go ahead and roll for us. That'd be great.
Right. Rolling that Die Hard Dice Fey Queen D6. And I'm sorry. It seems fitting, but also I feel bad. But Fen, you get the disadvantage.
So that magic roll I just made also had a +2 for my instrument training. So it does make it to 15.
I don't think you're gonna get like the bird horde. This isn't like Hitchcock-esque like birds coming down. But I think like there's when you go like psh, 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 to a chickadee, sometimes it'll come to see what you're on about. And so I think the birds are like looking at you, but they're not like coming to your hair.
Okay, got it.
So basically, I think as we're having breakfast, you can all see that there's sort of two obvious points of interest at this time. There is not like a clear path or anything where you are. I think the part where you are is a little hidden. There is a loud ruckus of ravens and something sort of in the northwest, and there is this sort of like light that's increasingly getting brighter to the east. And those are the two sort of major points of interest beyond breakfast. So as you're eating breakfast, though, can everybody roll me? I don't have the right word. Seeing. And Becky, I'm gonna give you seeing as this is not necessarily about seeing per se. It's about sensing. Is there a better?
I would like to make a case for hearing for me then.
Fine.
I do actually have decent smell or taste, so.
Yeah, so it's your like whatever's your best sense.
Okay.
I think maybe not taste. I hope that you're not tasting.
Would smell work? Because
Probably.
the two are like mixed in, so.
And hearing, yeah.
Hearing's like my whole thing. I'm a deer.
Right. Okay, so Fen, Sage, and Veshna, for sure to start. Something you notice some very tiny, very small vibrations, like in the moss and grass. You notice some very small vibrations in the moss and grass around you. What do?
I want to try something because Sage wants to try some magic out.
Okay.
And part of my nature magic is being able to speak to like plants and stuff.
Okay.
I want to just listen to see if anything is going on.
Okay, with the plants?
Yeah, that's all I'm trying to like figure out the best. Maybe like have the birds changed their singing at all?
I don't think so. I don't think that
Okay.
birds are particularly concerned with this. But yeah, I mean, I could have the plants talk to you. But yeah, I'm just trying to figure out exactly what they'd say. It is not a bad idea. This is just me thinking.
Okay. So I guess I'll do some engineering magic. Good enough.
The plants are happy because it's the sun. The sun came back. It's been gone all night and it's back. And that's really exciting. And they are very relieved that there's not a fire here anymore. Because that was a little nerve-wracking. And otherwise they seem pretty much, they don't feel like anything other than you guys, they don't seem to feel like anything different is happening than is what is usually happening in their neck of the woods.
Sage is probably just going to relax and being like, oh, okay. The plants aren't worried. I'm chill.
Veshna, what are you doing?
So I think Veshna sort of looks up from her book, and I think like she's still like very much reeling from, like it's just, all the feelings are all over the place. You know what I mean? Like it's the last dance of the school year, and maybe we've run out of social energy a little bit, and we're just kind of crying in the bathroom with our girls, waiting till our mom picks us up, right? You know what I mean? But I definitely think she kind of like looks up, and I think she kind of goes and like sees Sage like do a thing and then appear like unbothered. And I think like Veshna's like, I mean, Sage isn't bothered, so like that probably means I shouldn't be bothered, but also like I don't know that I shouldn't be bothered. So I think that Veshna is going to dig through her bag for her notes on cryptid stuff.
So as you start to do that, what you see is that you have something on your book and in your bag. And
Cool.
it's some very tiny snakes. They're about this long and they have two heads. and I don't really know how that works. I guess they must travel like a they either take, so I think each one works it out itself. Some have one dominant head and one, they take turns. Some, both of them are co-dominant. Whatevs. You could but and you see that there is a little snake on your book, and it's just investigating your book, and there's several very tiny snakes that are two-headed snakes that are sort of investigating your bag. And as you look around, and Fen, at the same time, I think you probably look down and notice that there are some tiny snakes drinking your feet.
So I definitely think Veshna sort of like very calmly, like, have you guys ever read the short story of like the woman? It's like the story of this like woman in India, and they're having a dinner party, and like they're all talking about how women can't handle anything, and all the time like the men at the table are talking about how stupid women are, and it's like two things happening at the same time, and then all the while the women are dealing with the fact that there's a king cobra under the table. So I feel like Veshna is very much like looks. So I think she kind of like looks in her bag and sees the little dude. Are they just sort of hanging out?
At this time.
So I think
they're not actively aggressive.
Yeah, I think she kind of like looks at the one on the book to kind of see what it's up to and investigate it a little bit more. And very calmly, like tries to get it, like gently, without touching it, get it to go onto the ground. And I think she sort of says, hey, team, friends, I don't know if any of you have seen yet, but it appears as though we are surrounded by and possibly covered in two-headed snakes.
Pyron, you turn around and notice that all of this time when you have been singing, perhaps you were attracting something other than birds. And most of the very large flock of two-headed snakes, I don't know what the word is for a flock of snakes. If chat knows or has time to Google it, please feel free to put it in the chat. The majority of the snakes are sort of near you.
I will say, Byron very specifically was just playing his instrument. He has not sung again since
I'm sorry.
the incident.
Thank you for clarification. Yes, the strumming of the instrument has attracted many tiny snakes with two heads.
Do they seem happy or upset that I've stopped? Can I gauge that?
Seeing? You're gonna have to roll for it.
Can I empathy the snakes?
Sure, empathy the snakes.
Their little tongue motions. Pangolins have long tongues. Maybe there's something there in 18.
Okay. Yeah. All right. They seem pissed. They were happier when you were playing. They are less happy now that you are not playing.
I think I need to keep playing, everyone. I'll start again. I don't know what else to do.
It's sort of like the snake charmer with the snake in a basket situation, right? Where all of the little snakes are sort of looking at you and they're like interested in the, snakes can't actually hear, and these snakes can't really hear either, but they can wiggle towards you and listen to the vibrations, and they're sort of wiggling over people.
Can Veshna help with performance magic?
Sure.
Okay.
Callie, you were trying to say something.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I'll wait until Veshna's done to try this, but Callie's got a long staff that she carries around with her. It's actually the handle from a hoe. And was thinking maybe she can like try to pick the snakes up with the pole and or staff and then move them elsewhere while they're
Okay.
distracted.
All right, so I think Callie's trying to do that. Veshna, what are you gonna do?
I think that since the snakes seem drawn to Pyron's instrument, and I feel like this falls under performance, but like feel free to tell me to go pound sand. I think what Veshna is going to do is sort of like almost like Pyron ventriloquism, but try to make the sound like it is coming from like the other side of whatever grove area they're on.
Okay, I thought you were gonna say in the hole.
Dip out, like kind of like what we do, like thaumaturgy or precedent.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, all right, give it a go.
That's magic engineering, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, team. That was a 23.
Okay, so yeah, some of the snakes start going over there. I think quite a few of them start going over there, and they are traveling over. You know that they're getting the vibrations from the other side of the grove. Kelly,
Yes.
I don't think the snakes really love being picked up. I think one of the snakes is becoming very agitated about this. And I think it's going to try to bite you. And I know it's far away from you, and so it probably can't quite reach you, but it becomes very distressed. And it's going to sort of bite you, and as it sort of goes to bite you, there's a small crackling of electricity over the entire snake. And it hisses at you and is not very pleased, and the other snakes that are near that snake are becoming slightly agitated as well. And there's this sort of like wave of agitation, and it's sort of like if you've ever seen ants, where one or two ants becomes extremely upset, and then all of the ants become upset, and then it either dissipates, like the wave dissipates if there's no danger, or it builds and then everyone's running around. So,
Okay.
this snake is exceedingly agitated that it is in the air.
I would like to cast Yeet on the snakes. And just
Oh,
basically
okay.
use that staff as a lever and just yeet them away via the staff, like just like a catapult.
All of the snakes?
Whatever's on the staff.
Okay, so there's a snake on the staff. Okay, all right, go ahead. Cast Yeet on the snake.
Would that be a might roll or an
Sure.
attack roll? Okay.
It's an attack roll. You're attacking the snake with your
All
Yeet.
right. All right, we'll use the staff. I'm gonna use that advantage.
Mm-hmm.
That seems like a wise course of action with what's going on. 17. That's much better.
Okay, yeah.
That's less catastrophically bad.
Yes. So you do yeet one of the snakes away. What direction are you yeeting it?
Away from the party. Just
Okay.
not. I don't think she's really got time to plan a landing spot, but just
Okay.
in the general direction away from the party.
All right. Why don't you roll me just a 4-sided die, so we can figure out
Okay.
what the direction is that it goes.
I am really glad I don't have a metal weapon right now. 4.
Okay. So you're gonna sort of yeet it towards the west, which is great because I think Veshna's distraction is sort of to the north, where most of the other snakes are. That would have been a bummer if you yeeted it right into those snakes. So you sort of yeet it to the west, and it's crackling very dramatically as it goes through the air and it sort of like hits into a tree and falls down, stunned or dead. You don't know. It's too far away. The other snakes are still slightly agitated with less of the electricity coming. They are feeling a little bit about it. They're a little bit in their feels. They are kind of distracted from Pyron, and they're just looking around a little anxiously. What are you guys gonna do?
Are they still in my bag?
So they're sort of slowly going towards one of the two sources of sound, unless they are agitated by the Callie situation. So I don't think they're necessarily, maybe one is like, I don't know, might be stuck in there. Like kind of not having, it's not very smart. They're trying to find their way out. More of them are going towards the fake Pyron than the real Pyron, but there are quite a few at the real Pyron as well.
He's just like leaning towards Pyron with like a little tiny like notebook and is sketching the snakes.
Oh, they're super adorable.
They're so cute.
I think Veshna very gently and without trying to make as little noise as possible, just sort of picks up her things without like packing anything, and begins to tiptoe, like back up away from the snake situation.
Okay. So what direction are you headed?
I spatially.
So I think, okay, so there's lots of snakes to the north. I think there's medium snakes to the east. There is one dead snake or perhaps stunned snake to the west. And the south is, and the south is relatively clear. So
we have north, east, west is one snake, and then south is relatively clear. So I think Veshna is gonna make her way and being as gentle as possible, like with the feet. We don't want to hurt the little things if they're moving along. Very gently, like on that comically, like I'm balancing all of my weight on the toenail of one toe type situation. And I imagine as a fox, like maybe there's a little bit more like dexterity in that way. I'm not sure.
Yeah, give it a go. Let's see. Let's get a tiptoe roll. Do we have like a sneak roll?
Would that be nimbleness?
Yeah, sure. We do a lot of nimbleness. We're a nimble group here.
We're a bunch of teenagers.
Yeah.
Nimbleness is all we got.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow, that's
great. So you accidentally step on one, or maybe actually, I feel like maybe there's one still in your bag.
Well, I was gonna use my advantage because yeah.
Okay. So you're putting things in the bag as you tiptoe, and when you pull it out, you have grabbed like a snake.
Okay.
So let's see what happens with that advantage.
Ah!
Oh
The
no!
snake is not excited, and the snake is super pissed that you are grabbing it now, and the snake is going to attack.
Great.
The snake is going to attack you, and it. Okay, let's see.
Oh no!
It just attacked you with a nat 20. It just
Great.
bit the shit out of you.
Cool.
It's gonna both bite you and electrify you. You're
Cool.
electric. Boogie, boogie, boogie. So actually, it's time
Worst
for
tail
break.
day ever.
Why don't we see? We're about at break time, so why don't we see if we still have Veshna with us when we come back from a break?
Still with us? Oh jeez!
That's so ominous.
How will we learn our lesson if one of us doesn't die?
It's electric. Boogie, boogie, boogie.
No!
F's in the
Alright,
chat
well,
for Veshna.
I
It's
guess
okay.
so.
It's what she would have wanted. She's so embarrassed.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair.
Some F's or oofs in chat. But be back in 15 minutes and we'll find out if Veshna's alive or dead, I guess. We'll
It's
be
okay.
right
I'm a
back.
naturalist. I'm literally a healer.
I mean, Fed has brought things back to life as well, so I think we're probably in good hands. But dude, it's rough on the other side of the border.
No kidding.
And we're back.
Hello.
Sorry about the wait there.
Welcome to another exciting episode of Is Veshna Dead? Where we find out if Veshna's dead. So Veshna,
She's tried a couple times.
She's tried a couple times, and so Veshna, you are you just had a little two-headed snake bite you, and also electrocute you. So let's see how that worked out for you. All right, so you're gonna take 2 damage from the bite. That's not so bad, and 4 damage from a little shot. So you're not so dead, but you do have a very angry snake on your hand. What are you gonna do now that you've gotten a shock and a bite?
I'm gonna
and
unmute myself.
perfect.
So I think that Veshna is going to again, like, kind of, right, and is going to very gently, like, put her hand down onto the ground and wait and see if the snake, like, returns to where it clearly wants to be.
Okay. Let's see. I think the snake, let's just see how the snake feels about it. The snake is not happy. The snake is not happy with you. It was not impressed by that performance. It just rolled a 3 for being impressed. The snake is now actively pissed off at you. And like it's gonna eat you now. The snake's also like this big, by the way.
Okay. So I
It's
think,
like a large earthworm.
yeah, so I think at that moment, Veshna is going to take her other hand and sort of squeeze in between, like, in the middle between the 2 heads.
All right.
Not, like, horribly, like, not, like, crush it, but just
Want
sort
some
of, like,
help?
good to, like, get it to sort of, like, loosen up a little bit
Okay.
and pull it off.
All right. Okay, so I'm gonna let you roll for that in just a second. But when it bites you and shocks you, all the nearby tiny snakes start getting very agitated and start crackling with energy. Right, like the swarm aspect is starting with these snakes. And so can you roll? Is it like? What do you think? Is it an unarmed attack?
Well, I'm not trying to hurt it. I also don't know.
Roll pinch. Raven, what would be the most appropriate role here, do you think?
One more time. What's attempting to be done?
Maybe it's a grapple? Or a push?
If you're trying to
So
grapple
it's like-
something, it's a opposed might roll.
Right, but
She's just grabbing the snake.
big.
Oh,
She's trying to very gently pick it up and close it without hurting it.
nimbleness, I would say. Like
Okay.
anytime you need to be dexterous, nimbleness is pretty much like the catch-all skill for
Great.
that.
I got a 16.
Okay, you're able to pick it up, and I think its little heads cannot quite come around and bite you, but it is some pissed off. And it
Yeah.
is going to try to attack you again. It rolled a 19. Plus, it's trying to bite you with its biter. So it rolled a 22. So now you, I think, get to oppose this, right?
Yes.
To see if it hits.
Do we finally get a defense attack or a defense roll?
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Deflect,
this
I
is,
think, for melee.
if you're trying to attack, then you would have a defense and an attack roll. If you're just trying to, like, see if the snake can slither away or if Veshna can pick it up, then it would be opposed nimbleness rolls, yeah.
I think that it is attacking. I think that Veshna, I would give you this as either a deflect or a block, right? You're trying to block the snake, like deflect the snake from hurting you.
Okay.
Kinda-
I would I would recommend deflect unless you just have a ton in another stat, because that gives you a +5 to melee attacks.
Okay.
So
And it's fighting you. It doesn't help though.
So it would be a 10 versus melee, yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And it just
I
rolled a
love
22.
that's in the box. That's amazing.
Shout out to Ek Norlax.
Yeah.
Not to make things worse for anyone in the group, but do both heads bite at once, or do they take turns? Just out of curiosity.
Sometimes they take turns. I think it's going to depend on how well they roll. Right. This right now, I think I like the idea that she's got it kind of picked up, and maybe it's not exactly even. So one head is too can't, but the other one swings around and bites her. And but it only just bit you for one. It's got very tiny teeth. But all of the other snakes are becoming exceedingly agitated. So there's becoming a lot of crackling electricity in the grass. Then, I think you are particularly subject to this. You have some tiny snakes that are trying to lick your feet, and they are now electrified, some of them. I don't think they are purposefully attacking you, but I do think that probably their electricity would go through you pretty unhindered. So what are you gonna do?
Well, is electricity harmful?
I guess I need to ask you that.
I don't know. I don't know. It's at the moment, Finn only has one thing inside of them, and it's a rock.
Okay, so it's not gonna hurt the rock. So I guess
No.
it's okay.
I mean, Finn's probably dangerous if they touch someone. Like, if they touch someone, they are super dangerous, I would imagine.
Okay, I think that's fair. Okay, so you are now electrified and cannot touch anyone without perhaps spreading that electricity from them to whoever. So,
Just gonna slowly shuffle away. Everyone should not touch me for a little while. We should not be here. Is Veshna okay? Oh, Veshna doesn't look okay.
Sage, are you gonna do a thing?
So essentially, the moment that all of the snakes start getting very, very worked up, and I'm trying to figure out exactly what role this would be, but I would like to use my magic ability to talk to fauna and flora, and also I don't know if it would be my naturalist or empathy or what, to just kind of be like, hey everyone, it's okay, let's all just bring it on down, because Sage is a mediator.
Okay, go ahead and roll. Roll and see if the snakes are convinced that everything is cool.
So I don't know which to roll. Doing magic or naturalist.
I can make a couple of system recommendations here if you would like.
I would love that.
So, since this is a sort of combat situation, I would say probably a magic attack to determine that you can actually,
Effect.
for lack of a better word, hit, or effect, and then magic engineering or a stamina point and magic engineering to do the magical effect in place of damage.
Okay.
That sounds reasonable.
That's
Oh
kind
god,
of
how do I do this?
Magical effects work in combat.
Where in the hickety heck do I
So,
do a
on
roll
your
for
character
this?
sheet, you want to look at attacks, and then just set one of those to magic, and then hit the roll there. And then also on your stamina point box, just make sure you take one out of your current pool.
Okay, and do I put any of that bonus in there?
No. So choosing magic
Okay.
for training type will automatically grab your stat.
Perfect. Okay.
So bonus to hits, just like if you had an enchanted weapon or something like that gave you a bonus.
Okay.
So
I appear to
if
have
the
rolled a 16.
If the 16 is
Okay.
enough to hit, essentially, then you'll roll magic engineering next.
Okay, go for it. I want to see how this works.
I'm actually going to crit that. I'm going to crit that. We're going to crit it.
Nice.
We're just going to crit.
Nice. Sage. Then Sage, work your magic. Tell us, calm down all of these electrified tiny snakes.
If I can paint a small picture, I like to imagine that Sage kind of still sitting, doesn't want to stand up and startle anyone, but little vines start kind of growing out of their hair and their eyes are glowing just a little bit. And they're like, hey, everybody. I know that we're all a little surprised right now, but no one here is trying to hurt you. I know that you like Pyron's music, but maybe if we can all just disperse, it's going to be okay. And we can all move on. Don't worry.
They're all like slowing down.
Yeah, that's right.
And they're
it's
like
okay.
just kind of chilling.
Yeah, we're all good. We're not going to hurt you, and you don't have to hurt us. It's all right.
And then I think maybe the sun, like one of the sunbeams kind of comes down, and they're all like, oh, we're just going to curl up here in the sun and be warm. And they all just sort of settle down to sun themselves. And they're like, oh, yeah, that's pretty smart. I like that idea. That's a good one. Yeah, and the two heads of all of them are talking to themselves. And there's one snake over in the west who's like, that's not true. These guys are assholes. But everybody else is like, oh, that's good. Okay, all right, I guess they all sort of rest. And you have solved my snake puzzle.
I solved the snake puzzle.
So thank you for the crit.
Thank you so much for that. Yay, it
Because
saved me.
Saved you all from many tiny, tiny electrified bites. So I think the gang can gather. Now that everybody's cool, the gang can gather sort of in the southerly, westerly section of our very tiny map at this time. What do you guys want to do next?
Heal Veshna. Treat Veshna.
Yeah.
Callie was like, doing the like Goku move, the two hands together and pulling it down by her side here to just like blast these snakes. And instead just like her arms just fall limp by her sides and her mouth just opens. She's like, oh, that was so cool. How did you do that?
I just thought calming thoughts, I guess.
You have like mind powers?
Well, I noticed I could I could hear what the plants were saying, so maybe I thought I could talk to the snakes in a way they understood.
That's really neat.
Thanks. I would like to imagine a small, like nervous deer noise. Like, I'm trying to think of like what kind of noise a deer would make that's similar to like a goat's bleat. Like,
I sort of like, you said you had little vines coming out. Maybe they like flower and immediately die.
That's adorable. I love that. Yeah, Callie's just like, oh, that's so cool. I just blow stuff up.
Which is also cool and very helpful. You got the vast majority of us out of that cave after all.
Hey, thanks. I guess that was pretty cool. We're all cool.
We should probably tend to Veshna now.
Right. Veshna, are you okay?
I think seeing that like it's back to like family together, and this time I think Veshna sort of like waves kind of like bye to her like snake friend, and seeing that there's like attention being cast her way, so it's got like, yeah, no, it bit me and shocked me, which I guess technically cauterized, so I don't really know what that means. So
As you're talking, you take 6 more damage.
okay.
You don't want to get bitten by these guys.
I'm gonna recommend putting both of your hands and your feet into the dirt first, into any dirt you can find for a second. Try and ground yourself, maybe.
okay. So I think like awkwardly Veshna sort of does like a downward dog situation. Downward dog, maybe. And has like
jump
fingers like sticking into the dirt and like toes like sticking into the dirt. It's kind of like this.
You know, I really don't know, but maybe.
It's you guys can go on with this is fine. You guys go. This is great. This is incredibly comfortable and good for me. And I think like Veshna looks like she's 8/20 of healthy. So I think Veshna looks like maybe riding the roller coaster for the 16th time on Cotton Candy Day at the like fun fair. It's like
so
real
Veshna, you don't feel like better doing that.
No,
that doesn't make you feel like better. Like maybe Fen also does that and feels better, but you don't feel better from doing that at all. If anything, you feel worse.
Yeah, I think Veshna is just sort of like I think you sort of see Veshna sort of like she's gonna cry, like trying really hard not to cry because she doesn't know what's happening and doesn't know like what's wrong and like is just sort of like bent over hoping that everyone goes away so that she can just sort of like have whatever happen in peace.
So the finger bites do not look great. They are definitely like puffy, and these are not like happy fingers.
I think
Happy
Sage
fingers in the dirt.
wanted to do something.
I do have medicine. I've got good medicine and a first aid kit and training as a herbalist.
So I think she like holds up her jacked up hand to sort of, but not really knowing where Sage is. It is like, does it fix this? And you can hear her kind of having the same kind of panicked voice that she had when you were first going into Fen's room.
Why don't you come over here away from everyone else? We're going to get you some air, and everybody else is going to stay to the side while I treat Veshna.
I think Veshna like wobbles over
Sorry.
still in downward dog position with her jacked up hand up. So it's kind of like some bizarre like third grade field day pseudo bear walk situation.
And I guess I would like to make a medicine roll for Veshna, and I do have herbalist as for. So could I have that extra point for that? Where I am trained in herbalism.
Yeah, that seems reasonable.
Also,
Okay.
does anyone need a refresher on how healing works?
I do!
Okay.
I do, because we never take damage.
Yeah.
What's damage?
So for anyone
Everybody pay attention, because that might change.
watching along at home as well, this is on page 38 of the rulebook. So healing, what you want to do is roll a medicine skill check, and then up to the GM, but a herbalist probably would apply. And then the difficulty starts at 15, which gives them 1d4 hit points back, and that's increased by 1 die step for every 5 points over that base difficulty check. So for example, if you rolled a 20, it would be 1d6 hit points back, and so on.
Okay, so medicine. So it's
good.
+1, so 19.
Okay.
I'm like
So-
1 away.
Yeah. So that should be 1d4 hit points back.
Physical die for this, because D4s. Wait, no, all the D4s are at the bottom. Never mind, we're rolling a real die, or we're rolling a virtual die. Yay!
So I think, this is right in Sage's wheelhouse. This is what Sage is being trained to do. This is every desperate knock on the door in 2 a.m. with somebody's dragging somebody else half dead down to the cottage and being like, save my baby, or whatever, right? You were so good at this. And so you were able to like sort of make a little tourniquet-y thing on the hand and like get the poison out and sort of wrap it up, and it feels better. And maybe you give her like a little bit of something that helps, like fantasy Tylenol and or something like that, and you're able to sort of sort her out, and she's not going to take any more damage from the poison, and you're able to sort of neutralize that. But you do all now know that these little two-headed snakes, who actually have like little yellow, they're sort of like a coral snake but yellow and black, and are about they're probably don't want them to bite you.
Sage, while like treating and wrapping the hand and everything, will like very gently to Vashna be like, it's okay if you want to cry while we're away from everyone else for a sec. That must have hurt a lot.
It's been yeah.
It's been a rough morning.
Yeah, yep. Sure has.
Do you want me to leave you here? I can go back with the others if you want some privacy.
That's fine. I just, I think.
Do you want a hug?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Come on. Let's.
Yeah. I think Vesh just sort of is like sad Charlie Browning it, like very like. I think she's sort of muffled into Sage's like
shoulder or whatever.
Is the sort of like, maybe I need to revisit my thoughts on embroidery. Maybe I just need to rethink. Maybe it's not a bad fiber. I could call myself a fiber artist. That sounds cool. Could be a fiber artist.
I mean, you did a very.
I think it's like that moment.
Yeah. Okay. We're going to give the forest one more shot. How's that sound? And if not, then you can go pick up embroidery. Okay.
Sage, I really don't want to embroider.
I know, Vashna. You are going to do so many more amazing things that are not embroidery.
Okay.
But you would be good at that if you wanted to.
Maybe.
But what's more important is that we're going to go explore this really cool new forest and not hopefully get bitten by any more snakes.
Okay. All right. Just gonna kind of like, all right, team. Okay, let's do this. All right. Cool. Thanks, Sage. You're the best.
Aw, no, I think that's you. But
While
let's go.
while that's happening, something I think Callie would like to do is sort of slide on over to Finn, and like, I think if Finn were solid, would probably put like an arm around their shoulder, but probably refrains. But that kind of a body language as she slides over. She's like, "So, Finn."
And Finn stands perfectly still.
So, Finn, just a suggestion. I mean, Vashna seems to be having a pretty rough time right now, so when they get back, I think she'd probably really appreciate it if you, just sort of stayed, kind of close to her and made sure she's okay. I think she'd like that.
Yeah, okay. Thank you. Okay. Thank you for telling me. I appreciate it.
I laughed so
Sure.
hard I coughed.
Oh no. Yeah, no problem, Finn. That's not like you have to. I'm just saying. I think she'd like it, and I didn't think you would hate it either. So that's it. Bye. And she slides away.
Finn remains perfectly still for like a good 30 seconds after that.
So Beckney and Pyron, while all of the shenanigans are happening, the interpersonal shenanigans here, what are you guys doing? Like, what are you looking at, or?
I think Beckney's been asking Pyron what the hell just happened.
I don't know. I guess now with magic, whenever I play music, it attracts dangerous creatures to kill my friends. That's the conclusion I've reached. And also apparently when I sing, it causes people physical pain and they scream. So I think maybe I'm cursed and I should leave the group. Because my magic seems bad.
No. See, so you played the music and then the dangerous things came.
Yes.
So
Must only cause and effect I can see there.
Whatever those are. But what if Wisteria was dangerous and that's why they screamed?
I know. See, what I'm worried about is I think the only ones that have heard me sing are Wisteria and you all have to be immune, I guess, because you're also magic. But then Wisteria was just a victim of my magic voice.
But what if it's because we're not dangerous, but they are, and they were freaking out because they realized you realized?
I don't. What? I don't know.
Also, I've been around you for like years, and I never got affected by it.
No, I think it's the magic. I think I just got bad magic. Or maybe
there's no such thing as bad magic.
Right? Maybe it's just dangerous magic, the kind where like you should go and be alone forever type magic.
Well, but where am I going to sleep?
I mean, you should. Sorry.
Sorry, I couldn't keep it.
That broke me.
That's perfect.
I just want to give Pyron a big hug.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, all of these middle school feels. The feels are real, guys.
Middle school romance.
Well, no, you would have the bed because you wouldn't be with me because I'm dangerous, so you shouldn't come with. So you'd have more space to sleep.
I think Beckney kind of finally is starting to click on what's going on, and they would just kind of put one hand not on the shoulder like they normally do when they're letting Pyron kind of lead the way, but they would grab Pyron on the bicep and they just give it a firm squeeze and say,
That's exactly what my family thought, and I turned out okay.
I don't think Pyron has a response. I think he just kind of like puts down the bag he was packing.
And I think as soon as they hear the bag drop, they'll go in for a hug.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so we're gonna bring the gang back together here.
One quick second. Thank you so much, Michael, for the $8 donation again for a disadvantage quote to support the bad magic narrative that Attack Trick is doing.
Okay.
So that's a disadvantage for Pat.
Really just using minds to blow apart the supports we're building here.
I love it. So the gang's back together and temporarily sorted themselves out for now. What do you guys want to do?
Get
Maybe
away.
eat. Because
Snakeland.
Beckney actually didn't get anything to eat, so they're kind of hungry.
I thought we were eating breakfast earlier.
I don't think Beckney got a chance to eat before all that happened.
Well, we're finishing breakfast then.
Okay.
There was a snake break in the middle.
Yeah. I think we made breakfast wet and then the snakes happened.
Yeah.
Maybe the electricity in the air dried out the breakfast.
Crispy bacon now, baby.
Yeah.
It's a nice little snake what are they called? Aperitifs?
Aperitif, yeah. Oh my god, because they got a pair of teeth.
Ah, 2 pair of teeth.
I'm so sorry. That came out of me like a
That was
ghost.
amazing.
That was
Oh
great.
my god,
Everyone
that's amazing.
adds 1 point
Ooh.
of beauty to their lives.
Yes,
okay.
that was amazing.
So like there's the light coming from the east, which is the sun, if the sun works the same way that it does in our world.
Right,
Sort
or
of
Gandalf if we're in a different
It
universe.
is not. It is clearly not the sun.
There's
It's not the right color to be the sun. There is the sun, and then there is a different thing. Fen, can you roll? What's the equivalent? What's sort of like a? It's not empathy, but it's. Sorry, I've like lost my paper.
Gut
Gut
feeling?
feeling?
Like
Or
maybe feeling. Yeah, roll feeling.
ooh. Not education,
nope.
I suppose.
immediately wanted to start singing and had to stop myself.
Oh
Nothing.
no.
That's the only thing you can.
Darn you, DMCA.
11.
Don't you still have an advantage?
Only one of them had to be for the good of the party.
All right, you know what? Sure, let's use it. I'm
not saying you have
so,
to use it. I couldn't
No,
remember. So
I reflect. I'm a hoarder. It's what I do, and so I'm gonna not do that, and we're gonna fucking do it with a 20.
You know exactly what that is. Your baby is being born. The baby sibling is being born.
Oh,
okay, I was really concerned for a second.
I was
Your
like,
baby sibling is being born, and that's what the light is. The light is coming up the waterfall and like shooting out. It's not the right color to be the sun. It's not, it's more sort of like northeastern than eastern. So you know exactly it's where the waterfall is. And it's shooting out the top of the waterfall, which means that the baby Fenfolk is being born right now. So that's what you know about that.
okay, so that is the direction that we can't go, because it looks like the family just got one bigger. So if you're wondering where Wisteria came from, that.
I thought it was the mouth of hell itself.
is that?
No, it's a little further south.
Definitely don't want to go there if that's where they came from.
That is also where the elders will be, so we should not go there.
Right. Finn, did you come from there too?
It's kind of the short answer is no. It's kind of a long story.
Ben's too good
We
to come from the same place Wisteria did.
That's kind of what Callie's getting at. She's like, oh, okay, then yeah, that sounds like it really is hell.
You know, it's where the elders are from. It's kind of the normal thing. It's predictable. It's nice. But we shouldn't go there.
It'll make us boring.
Yeah, that mostly. And I'm sure the elders wouldn't be mad that I showed everyone how to get out of the bubble. Yeah, so other opposite direction sound okay? Well, hey. So
We should probably do something to mark the tree that leads to the hole to your bedroom so we can find it again. Unless you're very confident in finding your bedroom again, which I don't know, maybe you have water magnetism. I'm sorry if that's rude. I actually don't know very much about your constitution.
No, there was actually somebody who came to town a few weeks ago that was talking about molecular memory. But honestly, it sounds like a bunch of snake oil.
No,
Sorry.
water has memory.
Yeah.
That's out of character.
Yeah. No, we should. Can you like make flowers or something on in a trail?
I mean, they might get
Well, I mean, we're not going to be gone for that long, are we?
I think that we don't know how long we're going to be gone necessarily, because we don't know what's out there.
I
Special
could
around
make like
very-
So above the table, I would like to say I like the idea that Fen would be sort of like a water dowser, right? That there would be some way to feel the connection with like big, like the waterfalls to the northeast. That's where the river is, and then the river sort of comes down and goes almost directly west. And underneath that part of the mesa, that's where Pylon Bridge is. And so
Okay.
I don't think it's like terribly hard to find it again, just so you know. It's sort of if like with what we've already established, it would be sort of in the corner of this mesa.
Okay.
Right? Like the cliffs above, it would be somewhere not very far from the edge of the cliff. I mean, I don't think it's right on the edge, but it's probably, a couple hundred yards maybe.
Mhm. Okay, cool. But like I could kind of like I can kind of sense it out. Like I don't know, it's 365 feet this way, but like yeah, there's a bunch over here, and it feels familiar.
Like a
Yeah.
compass almost.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah,
cool,
A
cool.
homing missile on bubbles.
Yeah.
Actually, you left a bit of yourself, didn't you? With bubbles?
I did. Yeah, I did. Like, a little
Oh yeah,
bubble,
so you would be able to find yourself.
Yeah.
Big brain.
Boom. Boom. Okay. Maybe I can give. If there's anything else we want to do to mark the path, we could do that. But I would have two plans. It's never a bad idea.
Good point. I can see a boat leaving behind a trail of something less edible.
I could make raw trails.
Those
Oh, I like
probably
that.
will not get eaten.
I like that idea better. I was gonna say I could make little craters. Beckney, your idea is way better. Let's go with that one.
If you
so
do
smart.
make craters, I could make rings around them.
We should.
Oh my
not
god, can we
really-
please just like make a hedge?
We should not damage this area. Things get upset.
Oh, for sure.
We should. Yeah.
Okay, Beckney's idea. I'll try not to blow things up. Like in the cave. Sorry about that.
I think while they're all discussing this, Beckney's kind of like thinking through how like something else they could do, and I'd like to try something.
Okay.
I'd like to make a dirt snowman.
Okay.
Literally just like reaching into the ground, and like the arm kind of becomes more dirt and grass, and they just kind of try to pull the form out of the ground, kind of instead of like rolling up dirt to make it, they just kind of almost like pulling dough up into a shape.
Okay. Give it a roll. Give it
Okay.
a magic roll. Oh, let's see how you do. All right.
17?
Sure. Yeah, I'll
Doesn't
give
have
it
to
to
be
you.
pretty.
Yeah.
So yeah, they'll make a little like dirt snowman while we're discussing this, and they'll put a couple rocks in the eyes, and for the, like it's not perfect. The eyes are a little off center, and
Yeah.
the nose is a bit down in the corner, but
It's so damn wholesome. I love it.
Oh, this is a series of wholesome moments brought to you by Hallmark.
All right. So, where are you guys gonna head?
The other direction. The
The
not.
other direction.
the
So
not
in
that.
the other direction is the edge of the cliff. That's sort of the south west, and the
East.
northwest is the loud birds.
So
Do you want to go see what the loud birds are about?
where there's birds, there's normally not any major predators. So that's
Unless the
perfect.
birds.
Are the major predators.
But then they wouldn't be the ones making noise to scare stuff away, would they?
Solid point. Solid point. Unless they're like maybe we're not affected, but maybe their noises attract. Anyway, birds sounds great.
I don't think I'm edible, so I'm probably off the menu.
Maybe like less edible and more drinkable.
I don't want to be
Potable?
potable.
That was
Oh.
Same brain.
As you guys are chatting about this, you're sort of going through the woods, and you don't get like a bad vibe from the woods. There's some like weird mushrooms, and there's some sort of big old gnarled trees, but not like spooky trees. They're just trees with very bright leaves, and everything's sort of cool. And you definitely hear the birds getting louder. It's some like ravens maybe, and like some vultures, and they're doing something.
Are they having a political caucus?
Perhaps. You don't speak vulture as far as I know, and you're too far away, so you'll have to get closer if you want to find out.
Guess we'll.
vultures are. They eat dead things.
So that's
Well,
good
that's-
for us, right?
Yeah,
Don't-
because
We're
not dead.
alive.
That's true. Of us.
Well, why would you eat dead things? Then you don't get the nice wriggling in the mouth when they're. I don't get it.
I wonder.
Take your word on that, Beckney. I'm gonna take your word on that.
I think Vesha just sort of puts a gentle hand on Becky's shoulder, sort of like, "Yep,
That's nice, dear.
yep, yeah, we're with you. We're with you, friend, in spirit, but not in experience."
Okay.
I wonder if it's the visitor.
The what?
The what?
The who?
The guest that the uninvited guest. The
Oh,
Oh!
well, that would be sad.
Oh. I guess we could check. I think that most carrion eaters are not terribly aggressive, as long as we don't get near their meal.
Maybe
Yeah.
Byron and I could put on a really, really, really convincing play dead.
You say you want to get eaten by vultures?
Well, just like sort of a distraction technique.
Oh,
So what?
so who wants to get?
What guest
look.
did we think died?
Oh, the laughing one who wouldn't tell you its name.
The cheese pun.
Oh.
Lucococra? Was that the name? This is meta, I just-
Lucocrata.
Lucocrata, thank you.
They were pretty big. I'm pretty sure they could eat most anything that would be out here.
But if they died from something else and then were being eaten, who wants to go
would be
check? I
sad.
guess.
Can I roll a smell to see if I can smell anything that smells like rotten?
Sure.
Smart.
Yep.
Nice.
There's
It
something.
smells like dead and kind of
Doesn't
off.
smell bad. Not like super stanky. Hasn't been dead a long time.
Okay.
Dead though. Not
Okay.
like warm,
Yeah, not like fully. Yeah, not decayed. Okay.
Can I sort of fly up in the air a bit to see if I can get a better vantage? See if I can see what it is from, being high up.
Sure.
Do you want me to roll magic to fly or
Sure.
just roll sight? Okay. All right. So flying.
That's great. Yeah, and now just
Pretty
roll
good,
sight,
and
and
then-
we'll see.
Sight also
Yeah,
pretty good.
okay. You see, hung between two trees by the legs is, in fact, a very familiar looking animal being, or the remains of a somewhat familiar. You recognize that it's a Lucrocata. You don't know if it's the Lucrocata, probably you're too far away, but it is for sure a Lucrocata, and there's something very off about it, apart from the fact that it is dead and partially eaten. That's what you see.
Okay. Callie will float back down and just be like, not sure if it's the one we met, but yeah, there's one of those the things that the name I can't ever remember how to say, but it's kind of hung up by its legs in a couple of trees, so I think somebody put it there.
Well, that's the circle of life for you.
Yeah, except like,
Except the part where they're
Most
hung up.
yeah, I think something, it was not very nice.
I mean, that thing was pretty scary. Something would have to be pretty powerful to hang it.
Well, that's a terrifying thought.
Do
Wait,
do vultures and crows know how to use like tools and traps?
where
They
did they
don't
get the
have-
rope?
Iron
What? Sorry.
she holds up her hand with the thumb thing. It's like, no thumbs.
So then,
Damn
like,
it.
why would something trap it and then just leave it there?
I guess we could go look into it.
But where did the rope come from?
From a town somewhere.
You think there are towns out here?
I mean, there has to be, right?
Where would the adventurers come from?
I always forget that adventurers go out beyond the barrier.
We can't be. Us and Days Ride and the city can't be the only three things in existence.
Yeah.
Can't they?
Maybe they could be. Like, the
Oh no,
whole
there's
world could be.
there's like the city further down with like college and stuff and schools. There's more schools.
That's really sad.
Yeah. I never really liked school.
Do we
They-
want to go check this out?
I mean, we should probably,
At least let it down, right?
yeah.
It's still more appetizing than any place that birthed Wisteria into the universe.
That's true.
I don't know. Wisteria doesn't smell as bad.
That is a
Just
really
saying.
important spot for my people. You know. Like,
Oh,
that's
oh my
kind
gosh!
of-
I'm
that
so
is kind of
sorry,
where
Fen.
It's kind of like where, you know, almost like everybody comes from. Like I know we don't really like Wisteria, and that's fine. But like that is kind of an important spot. So
You got it.
Please.
We're done. We're not making any more jokes about it. I'm very sorry.
Sorry, Fen.
it's okay. I know it's just it's a Finn folk thing.
And I want to respect that.
Callie just nods and is like, "Yep, you're absolutely right. You know who knows a lot about like proper respect and things is Veshna." Kelly like motions over to Veshna. Like Veshna definitely would know like the right proper ways to like respect people's important things.
So I feel like Veshna was like in the middle of about to like have a very heartfelt apology that like really is very real. and in this moment goes back to like looking like she wants to die and takes the book out of her bag that has like a little like charred piece from I'm imagining the snake and sort of starts walking into the woods. with the book.
I really like the idea that maybe Veshna walks like right towards the dead body.
Yep, just like this is so better.
And
This
like
is better.
all sorts of like vultures and crows like spread around, and you see the Luke Crocata, and what you notice is that it has been completely drained of all blood.
Oh, you cut out right at the important part.
Oh!
We notice what?
It's been completely drained of all blood. And that's where we're gonna
Oh.
leave it today. Where did the
Okay.
blood go?
Huh. Wow.
Where does it come from? Where does it go? Where does it come from? The blood. Oh no.
I have
Beautiful.
2 theories that I will discuss not on stream. So because you have
Have
to
we
wait till next
considered
week.
Lucrocatas don't have blood? Like,
What?
excluding the experience that we had with the bleeding Lucrocata like a few weeks ago, are we sure they have blood?
I'm not sure anyone
Yes.
has blood, really.
I am sure, being a medic,
I haven't seen it, so I don't know. Seems unlikely to me.
I'm not really on the
Technically,
food
I
chain.
have-
That's not my deal.
I have some bad news about whether seeing is believing in your case.
Oh no.
Yikes.
That was so
Oof.
good. We're gonna go on a raid here in just a little bit, but before we do, I'm gonna let everybody say what their favorite part was, where we can find them, and anything they want to share or plug. And we'll go reverse order from how we started. So, Calliope, what was your favorite part? Where can folks find you? And anything you want to share or plug?
So I'm Calliope, and my favorite part, I think, I liked all the feels. I liked the building of all the character relationships. Beckme, right in the feels. I love that sibling love. I'd like to plug embroidery, and although embroidery has a very hard, is getting a very hard time, then it is actually a lovely hobby that I quite enjoy. And when I am embroidery off stream or off camera when I'm streaming, so there you go.
Awesome. Oh, my connection almost died there for a second. I think it's back. Okay. Next, Hannah, what was your
It
favorite
is.
part? Where can folks find you? And anything you want to share or plug?
I really enjoyed the whole geyser shenanigans. I thought that was really fantastic, and then I loved Fen. Bless Fen trying to help, and the whole sequence was really interesting and cool. In terms of where y'all can find me next, catch me here on Raven's channel on Fridays at the noon Mountain Time slot for Neon Devils 2, in which I will be playing V. We successfully completed our mission to escort Oma Green somewhere. I was the sniper on the roof. It was really fun and cool. And now we get to learn stuff. It's freaking excited. So check that out.
So good. Awesome. Also, I just double checked because we were right at 9 retweets. We just hit 10, so I'm gonna roll to see who gets that for next week. 1, 2, and it's
Aggressively
Hannah.
jazz hands. It's me! My jazz
Yeah.
hands did it!
Awesome. And then next is Pat. What's your favorite part? Where can folks find you? Anything you want to share or plug?
Oh God, I mean, Calliope already talked about Beckme, 'cause that was such a good moment there. Besides that,
It can be your
I think-
favorite too.
I mean that plus the matchmaker Callie moments were they were perfect.
Thanks.
But yeah, I'm Pat. I'm a Tactric on Twitter and Twitch. On Twitter after this, I will be reposting For the next 24 hours, we'll still be taking signups for a game. We'll be doing a set of 3 games. We'll be doing on my channel starting next Wednesday, where Zan is going to be running some They Came From Beneath the Sea for us. And then this Sunday, also on our channel, we're going to be jumping back in with Urban Shadows at Ruby Tooth Bay. And that's where you can find me next.
Awesome. Definitely do yourself a favor and go sign up for that 3-game series, because Zan's a great GM, and the game is a lot of fun, and the two together are just amazing. It's really fun. Next, Jay, same questions.
I gotta give it to Callie with being just the worst wingman. Like, I was trying to think of a bad joke about a matchmaker lighting too many fires, and you're just like, you're burning the whole town down with it. It's great. Yeah, this whole session was fantastic because it was nice to see what we do in a dangerous situation that isn't like a giant threat, when it's a bunch of little kind of problems to solve. It was really cool to see. And it's nice that nobody died. That was really cool because that was a genuine fear. So that's always nice to see. I've been Alien Jays, or Jay. You can see me on Saturday at 6 Mountain Time for more Animus Absentus, where we didn't get killed, but we did have to make a deal with the cops. So tune in to find out how we get out of that, and then also screw over the cops and continue to undermine capitalism.
Absolutely. I love that summary. That was perfect. Yeah, I also am glad that Veshna didn't die, because I'm like, we're only level 3, and I don't know what Veshna's health is, but I know, like, the health range for a level 3. I was getting concerned. But yeah, speaking of, sorry, now that you're drinking something, Icy, it's your turn.
Oh, man. So yeah, I'm still here, still Icy Historian. You can find me hanging out with Patrick, and my favorite part, oh my word, there's so many things. I think I think my favorite singular moment, and I think it's like really Callie character in general, the sort of like I love characters that are like the smart dumb one, like the one that like isn't gonna pick up on like subtle social niceties, but like comes out with like the sort of like light dawning moment. And I just love the sort of sweet like kind of maybe not realizing that like bringing up the whole Veshna Fen situation before was, but now try to just be like, see, I'm gonna make it better. And if I give the mother of pearl bracelet 3 times during the month of winter after I mine in the dirt in Stardew Valley, I can have enough hearts to ask so-and-so to the ball. So I mean, just do this. If I just do it harder, it'll work. It'll be great. And I think that's also with like Pyron. It's this idea that like the first time you're interested in someone, or you realize that people can be interested in each other, you're sort of like, well, that didn't work one time, better go off and become one with the nearest Bodhi tree. You know, like, it's just like, well, I'm done now. And I love that whole like thread. As a side note, I don't think I really understood what bleed was until I started playing this game. So that, I don't know what that says about me, but there we go. I'm just having a great time. So it's all good.
Awesome.
Bleed will single-handedly kill me in any video game.
Oh, goodness. And then Zan, what was your favorite part? Where can folks find you? Anything you want to share or plug?
Yeah. Ooh. I am Zan, or Insanity TTRPG. I'm a professional GM and content creator for a whole bunch of really cool stuff. that you should check out if you want to find where I'm doing stuff. So I'm always doing stuff over here with Attack Trick, with Polished, and a couple other places popping up kind of sporadically. And on my own channel. I've got my schedule listed out on my Twitch, so check that out if you want to see me somewhere. You should 100% sign up for that. They came from 3-Shot, because it's going to be just the best. I also still have open slots available for Onyx Path's digital convention, which you can find on Start Playing if you check out just the Onyx Path Con thing. I've still got some spots open for my Saturday night They Came From Beneath the Sea Crawdaddy Knows Best game. Which I wrote for the convention last year, and is probably the best one-shot that I've written. It needed some revision, but it's a lot better now than it was then. So I'm kind of doing a whole bunch of stuff, and it's all happening real fucking quick. My favorite part for tonight, it was mentioned in our Zoom chat, so I can't claim to be entirely original, but it is definitely everybody's reaction to the oops, maybe we're having a little bit too much fun shit talking Wisteria, that was some delicious guilt on y'all's faces. It was just that little bit 3-4 second silence afterwards. Oh, it was perfect. Loved it. So good. And yeah, that's my whole thing. It's always just this game. It is just leaves me smiling for days afterwards.
Same. Oh yeah, that was a great moment. I guess that just leaves me my favorite part. Most of them have been mentioned already. The whole thing was a lot of fun. I also enjoyed Fenn's bashing on Wisteria is fine, but maybe leave the sacred location out of it. I appreciated that, and yes, everyone's reaction was great. Plus, it opened up the great opportunity for Callie to be like, "Hey, who knows all about respect is Veshna." Callie's trying so hard. It's so great. But I also enjoyed the thing with the snakes and trying to make the fire and everyone's reaction to suddenly having full color saturation around them and everything. The whole thing was neat. I really enjoyed the whole thing. Where you can find me next will be tomorrow at 6 p.m. Mountain Time for Exodus. We're wrapping up the story there, and I am excited to see what happens. Excuse me. And then other things to share or plug is just our sponsors. Fundamental RPG, which is the system that this game runs on. It looks like this. We also use it for Animus. Welcome to Madison. And we're using it for Blackfeather Paranormal Investigations. So as you can see, it can run a wide variety of genres without having to modify it really much at all. So it is designed to be very versatile and pretty easy to pick up. It's got about 69 pages in it, so it's not a long read either. You can pick up your own copy if you want the physical.
Raven.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. I'm glad somebody said it. But yeah, you can pick up your physical copy, if you want the book itself, on Amazon, or if you prefer an electronic version, there's the PDF available at coffee.com/raven/shop, just like it says at the bottom of the screen. Just add /shop if you want to go directly to the store. If you don't add /shop, it just goes to my coffee page, which has some other cool stuff, and you can go to the store from there. Also, at that location, you can find Intrepid gear, which is adventuring gear for real life, drinkware and apparel and accessories and other cool stuff like that with a tabletop theme to it. It's cool stuff. You should check it out. And then finally, Die Hard Dice, which are these are the dice I've been rolling for advantages and various other things tonight. This is the Spellbinder Fey Queen set that Die Hard sent me. It is my very favorite set, and I have a lot of dice, so that's saying something. You can pick up your own at dieharddice.com, and then if you use the code BlackFeatherJune, all one word, capital B, capital J, you can get 10% off your entire order. And then finally, if you want to catch up on this show or others on the channel, you can do so at the Fantasy Network at watch.thefantasy.network. Just go to the stream library and look for Black Feather Guild. That's where you can see all of our past shows and the VODs from the currently running ones. And I think that is everything. So we're going to go on a raid. We've got a raid cry, which is, but I don't want to be potable. And we're going to go raid Bodalia, who's doing some other tabletop stuff. She's super awesome. You should definitely give her a follow if you're not doing so already. Yeah, throw the raid cry out there and say hello. And then I will see you all tomorrow. Bye, everybody.